Okay, we are recording. Just in case you all didn't know or you're watching the recording, we have a team Q&A every week, every Wednesday at 3:30 Pacific time, 4:30 Mountain, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. And the link to join that Q&A is in the events tab in Ignite Your Life. If you just go into the Ignite Your Life Facebook group, click events, you'll see the link for it. We have it every Wednesday. The only Wednesday this year we didn't have it was Christmas. But we even had it today, and there were so many incredible questions. We had brand new coaches, not even a week in, asking great questions. And every week we have people join and ask things that help them get their business to the next level. So I'm glad that some of you can make it today. I know it's a holiday, and Happy New Year to everyone. A couple things before we dive in, important dates. Every year Beachbody does this thing where when you earn Success Club 5 or more, Success Club 5 or Success Club 10 for January through December of the year 2020, you can get different prizes. And so your first month of Success Club that you earn Success Club 5 or more, you earn a limited edition Team Beachbody Coach tank. Last year, the tank that I got in 2019, I wear that thing every week, if not multiple times a week. Like, I love it so much. And I don't have it on. We just got back from San Luis Obispo after a 5-hour drive. So my sweater's downstairs, but I think I wore it last week on the team training. It's a zip up hoodie. And that was for 9 months of earning Success Club. And it's my favorite. I wear that thing. I think almost every Zoom team training you've seen me on has probably been that sweatshirt in the last couple months since I've gotten it. It's my favorite. It's so cozy. So they have a whole list out of all the prizes. And this year for 2019 for 12 months of Success Club, we're getting luggage, which I'm really excited about because we travel a lot and I don't really have great luggage. So I'm excited for that. But this year, when you earn 12 months of Success Club, they're giving out a Theragun. And a lot of people are asking, what is that? It's a massage tool, but it's like a recovery tool to break up knots. And it's just like having a little gun go da-da-da-da-da-da. But anyways, when I injured my tailbone and had to go to the chiropractor and the active release therapist, they would use those guns on me. And it is the most incredible thing. My CrossFit coach also uses the gun on me, and I love it. And Paul and I have been talking about getting one. And so I am so pumped for that. So lots of exciting things coming. If you look in the team page and Ignite Your Life, I also posted Ultimate Portion Fix and To Be Mindset are on a jumpstart sale this month. You can earn double trip dollars in January. And so what that means is in January, they will release the new Success Club trip. Every year there's a rewards trip. And if you earn Success Club every single month as a coach, you can get your trip almost paid for, basically. And if you miss months, that's okay. You can actually pay cash to go on the trip if you would like as well. But we have earned, I can't even remember, I counted recently, almost 1 to 2 trips a year for the last almost 9 years. So pretty incredible. And I've heard, I don't know because I didn't verify this information, but I heard next year is going to be, so you would earn it in 2020, the trip would be in 2021, and it would be Riviera Maya, Mexico. They're all-inclusive resorts. We stayed at the Unico last time. It's a really high-end resort. Kids aren't allowed. If you have kids, there's another resort that allows kids as well, but kids aren't allowed in this one, and we had a great time. So I think that's going to be the trip for 2021. So in January, if you earn Success Club 5, they actually double the dollars that they give you towards that trip. So kind of a really incredible opportunity. You earn Success Club 20, it's like you earn Success Club 40 towards the trip. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that trip. Bar Blend VIP Early Access begins. I believe that starts on Friday. So anybody that's purchased the VIP Early Access to Bar Blend will be able to start the workout on January 3rd. Also, January 3rd, 4 weeks of the prep launches. So if you have already purchased VIP access to 6 weeks of the work, these are 2 of our brand new programs that are on VIP release. They won't be released to Beachbody On Demand until later this year. But if you purchase 6 weeks of the work, you will have access to 4 weeks of the prep. So that's kind of exciting. And then the 3-day refresh, it has a 10% off sale, and that ends on January 10th. So if you're wanting to do the 3-day refresh, or if you have any clients or customers wanting to do the 3-day refresh, that's super exciting. January 10th to 12th, 10th, 11th, 12th, there are going to be super weekend events. And what that is there are super weekends all over the United States, the UK, and Canada. They're little mini events, kind of like a mini coach summit, and I'll talk about summit in a second. But if you've never been to a Super Saturday or Super Sunday or Super Friday, they'll tell you like new programs that are coming out for the year. They'll give you different incentives that they have coming out for the year. They'll announce where the trip is going to be in 2021. I think I kind of know already because I told you, but they'll announce that officially. They'll announce like the system for earning that, how to sign up for that. They'll announce that on the super weekend. If you go into your coach office, if you go into your coach office and you click events and then super weekend, let's see if I can screen share this with you guys really quick. So you click share. Here we go. Can you guys see this? My coach office? Okay. So you click events and then super weekend, and it'll go to this page, and you can find a super weekend event. You can also host them. But if you just click on the map, you can zoom in to wherever you are. So like I'm in, I don't know why Sacramento's not showing up or my computer's not loading. One of the two. But anyways, you can go there and you can check out the super weekend events coming up the 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's great to get to one of those if you can. If not, that's totally okay. But they do have them coming up. Also, our coach summit, which is once a year, and that's where everyone gets together. The super weekends are all over, and coaches are putting them on all over. Corporate puts on an annual event once a year. And this year it's in July in New Orleans. The tickets are on sale in January for $165 if you're wanting to get a ticket to go to the Coach Annual Summit. They're great because we get to work out with the super trainers every morning. We get together as a team. There are parties and celebrations. There's coach trainings so that you can learn from other coaches and how they build their business. For me, the very first year that I went to Coach Summit, way back in 2012, it was a game changer for me. I just learned so much in those 3 days, more than I felt like I had learned in months, because I had that time, that undivided time where I was just focusing on my business, and I didn't have all the other, my job, I'm still working, I didn't have my job, I didn't have, everything else going on in life. It was just me focusing on my health, my fitness, and my business, and doing it with people that have similar goals and lifestyles that I do. So super fun event. Definitely check that out. I posted this all on the team page so you can go and get that information as well. I know, so many announcements for the new year. I will dive into the training. Last week I did a training, I think it was last week, on manifesting your dreams. And if you didn't get a chance to check that out, if you go into Ignite Your Life and you click the event, you go into Ignite Your Life and you click the units. If you click units, I believe it's unit 8. I will share with you guys. I've been trying to screen share because I know you guys have said it's very helpful when you can see. So if you go into Ignite Your Life and you click the units tab right here, not only are there trainings and our coaches' stories, there's some coaches that have shared their stories, I've put them in there. Inviting training, if you want more information on inviting, more information on recruiting, more information on inviting, compensation, but here are the weekly team trainings. And I did a training last week on manifesting your dreams. And if you haven't checked that out, I definitely recommend that training, because I actually give you prompts, questions to ask yourself so that you know how to manifest your dreams. So it's not just like a woo-woo, let me manifest my dreams. Like, how do I actually do that? How do I focus on that? what questions do I need to ask myself to make that happen? So definitely take a look at that if you haven't already. Tonight, we're going to go into productivity journaling. So if you have a good grasp of manifesting your dreams and what those are, and you're super clear and you've done the exercises that I gave in that last one, it's a great personal development exercise and business development exercise. This will really help you to take everything that you manifested and actually get into action and do it. So productivity journaling is what I called it. And the reason why I want to do this training is I have been producing at a pretty high level for almost 9 years. And that's not by accident. But a lot of times I didn't actually know what it was that I was doing. And I would always learn after the fact. Somebody would do a training somewhere and I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's what I do. Yeah, that's great. But there are a lot of mistakes that I made along the way and things that I'm still learning. I'm still growing, almost 9 years into this thing. And I had a huge aha moment the other day in my personal development, my personal growth. And I thought, oh my goodness, if I made this mistake for 9 years, I don't want you all to make, and I wouldn't say I made it for 9 years. I probably was doing really well with it in the beginning. And then when I got really good at it, I didn't know how to pivot. And so I probably made this mistake for like the last 5. So productivity journaling. So I'm going to go through like 3 main things when it comes to productivity. Number 1, and if you guys have a notepad, that's great. I was going to create slides, but I didn't get to do it on the drive today. Number 1, what are your musts? So what must get done every day? And this looks different for everyone. If you have a kid, you must change their diaper. Sorry, it's just part of your life. If you have a kid, you're breastfeeding or feeding them a bottle or feeding them 10 meals a day. I don't know. Like, you're busy, right? So those are must things that have to get done. For me, my must is my workout. Like, my workout must happen. It doesn't not happen unless I need a recovery day, or my recovery day is built in, or I'm sick, or whatever it may, and that's okay. I'm not saying, but like, what are the musts on a daily basis that must happen for you? Personal development is a must for me. And I will tell you, there are times when I haven't made it a priority, and I'll share with you in a little bit why I needed to get back to making that a must that happens every day. So on those musts, the thing that I want you to look at though is write all those musts down. Number 1, write them all down. What are all those things that you have to do every day? And then as you look through them, what are some musts that can be deleted? What are some musts that can be deleted? And this really, as I was going through this, so something when I was new in my business and I was working full time, I was training for an Ironman, I had a really busy schedule. I wanted to get out of my job. I didn't know how long that was going to take. And I was really committed to doing the daily vitals in my business. I couldn't watch TV. Like, that had to be deleted. And that's not a must, right? But it had to be deleted. But a lot of times we make it a must. Like, we get to 8 o'clock or whatever that is for you. And you're like, okay, now unwind, let me watch TV. I'm not saying it's bad if you're watching TV, right? I'm not. If you want to watch TV and you want to have your shows, you do that. I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong for you. I'm just saying, what are musts that can be deleted? So it's kind of like shaking up your musts regularly, like I would say monthly, and analyzing, are they still serving you? And this is where I would mess up. I would take things that were musts because they were a habit and think that I still needed to do them, and realizing that I didn't need to do them anymore. They weren't serving me anymore. They weren't productive. It wasn't a must, but it was still a must on paper because it was such a habit. And then when you look at the other musts that are on there, how can you make them better? The musts that you have to get done, how can you make them better? And I find like a must for me is working out. If I am stagnant in my fitness journey, if I am not feeling like I have a goal, whether it's to do more pull-ups or learn how to do a handstand walk or do something crazy, like, I love our intense programs. Like, I want to feel like I want a program to rock me. But so what is something that you can make better, right? For me, one of those things in 2019 and 2020 I have to continue with is stretching and mobility and doing more yoga and using our 3-week yoga retreat. And that shakes up that must. It's a little bit different for me. It's a little uncomfortable. I don't really like doing it. But I know long-term that's going to be beneficial for me, right? So what are some musts that you can make better? Does anybody have any? Oh, you guys have chatted, so let me see. Oh, Punta Cana, you're talking us. That was way I'm way off. That was a while ago. So what are your musts? Make a list of those, right? But in going through that must list, what can you delete and what can you make better? What can you delete? What can you make better? Number 2, make a list of all your busy work or effective work or productive work. And the reason why I say busy work is because busy work can be habit driven and it's necessary to like your business needs it or your life needs it or whatever that is. So when I think of like productive, busy work, posting to social media, my business needs that. My business needs that because people can then follow my journey and get inspired by my journey and follow me along the way and see that I'm living the life that I'm putting out there when I'm inviting them behind the scenes, right? That post is important. My inviting and my follow-ups, those are vital behaviors. They're productive work. They're important. The intention that I have behind those is also important. But over time, that becomes habit-driven. And for me, that's effective, like productive work. But same thing, when you look at your busy work, what are areas you can get better at? And are there anything you can delete? Is there anything you can delete? Because we get stuck in the habits that we don't, and that's where I got stuck in the habits of the musts and the busy work that I do every single day and not analyzing. I always analyze how to get better at them, but not deleting them. But the one that I really missed out on, and that's number 3, and those are your needle movers. And so needle movers, what I mean by that, and this one's really tough if you're a mom and you're working, and I get it because I was working full time and training for an Ironman and building this business, and I didn't have a lot of white space or scheduled out time to just dream and think of what's next and think of ideas and just brainstorm, basically. Like when you think of needle movers, just having time to brainstorm. And what hit me the other day, and why when I was doing this training, I'll schedule out all the musts. I'm really good at doing all the musts. I'm really good at getting all the busy work done. Like there's something in me that I can't go to bed until things are done. And certain things I can move, because I'll get to this in a second, but you have your daily to-do list, your weekly to-do list, and your monthly to-do list. And so I plan things out in my Google Calendar. Like these are the things that have to get done for the day. My musts and my busy work, like I already know what those things are, but the extra stuff, like this is what has to get done for the day. This is what has to get done for the week. And I schedule it all in. So I know on Thursday, I'm going to be sending a customer lead email, right? Because that's what it says on Thursday. And that might be a goal for the week. And then all of a sudden Thursday comes and like now it's a goal for the day. But with the needle movers, I wasn't making time and space to think of different ways to move my business forward with more excitement, with more joy, with more enthusiasm, to have time to sit down with the needle movers and think of like, how can I make things better? To analyze my lists of musts and how can I make those better, or how can I delete them? And so you're just always in busy mode instead of like just journaling and writing mode, right? And the thing with that, there was something, let me see if I can get to my notes. The thing with having the needle mover time is write down the big problem that you have in front of you. A lot of us as humans, we have a problem and we see problem. I want a solution, but problem. Needle mover time is time where you're going to write down that big problem and say, okay, let's come up with like 10 to 15 solutions. Let's just brainstorm all these solutions that I can come up with. Because it's kind of like when somebody comes to me, they're like, I don't have time for my business. I know that I could probably find time for their business. I know I probably could. I don't have time to go through everybody's life and analyze it, right? That's where personal development comes in. Having this needle mover time to say, okay, the problem is I'm not having time to get to this. So let's analyze let's come up with solutions and analyze where I can remove things to add this in. Or is this important? And that's what needle mover time is. And when I realized that, like, I'm good, like, I'll see a problem and I'll just be like, solution, and throw something at it and go do that. But when I started doing this, where I'm like, okay, here are all the solutions I have, then I can pick one thing that solves the problem and then write down 3 to 4 action steps. And then those action steps go in my daily or weekly or monthly to-do list. And there's something about the needle movers that allows your brain to be creative and think through problems instead of just letting things like come your way and then just reacting emotionally to them. Right? And so needle movers are your ideas, your thoughts, your dreams. Maybe you can't think of a problem that you're wanting to solve right now. You can sit down with needle movers and just write out all your dreams. Write out how exciting that's going to be. Write out like the lives you're going to change, that one person that you can imagine. Like, when I get to this level, these are the types of people that I'm going to be changing their life. This is what it's going to feel like. This is what it's going to feel like to not have to stress about money. This is what it's going to feel like to have that cabin in the woods, really spend time with that. And it doesn't have to be a lot, you guys. Like the other day, I took 15 minutes for needle movers and I created a whole game plan for the entire year. Like, wow, crazy, hairy, scary goals that I've been putting off for years because I didn't allow myself time for the needle movers. And I planned them all out. I have like the daily to-do list, the monthly to-do list, or the weekly to-do list, the monthly to-do list. I know like when the deadlines are for these things so that I could create these projects and put deadlines on them. So that was it. I told you it'd be pretty short. But the reason why I wanted to share that is because everyone's musts and productive work and needle movers are going to be different. My needle movers in the beginning, I would sit down and I did the needle movers every single day as a new coach for my first 2 years. I wrote down my dreams every single day. If there was a problem, I wrote down the solutions and the steps, and I would put it in my daily or weekly or monthly to-do list. And I was so focused because I was so focused on where I was going. I knew so clearly. I had no idea what it looked like when I would get there. Blinders on. I didn't care how fast anybody else was moving, if they were moving faster or slower than me. I knew if I took action and consistently took action, I would keep showing up until it happened. And I remember telling Paul one day, I was like, gosh, I just wish like 5 years would go by because I'll do the work. I know most people won't do the work and won't show up, but I will do the work. So can't the time just pass? Don't wish the time away, guys. The whole part of the journey is like growing in the person that you become in the process. It really is. You learn like through this business, and I don't know if she's on right now. Elizabeth was on the previous call and she goes, oh my gosh, something just clicked. I'm starting to put together how this business works. I loved that. I loved when she shared that because that's what it is. You just keep having all these moments that click and you start learning and piecing things together and seeing how it's going to work. What I love about our business is that we do have a to-do list. We know what those musts and those productive behaviors are that we have to focus on to grow our business. And we know exactly what those things are. We can do more or less of them, but they all have to be, not just some of them, they all have to be done to grow our business. But are we taking the time for the needle mover so we can dream, so we can problem solve, so that we can think at a bigger level? And when I was doing my needle mover time the other day, like I said, 15, 20 minutes, it wasn't a lot. I also realized that when I'm doing more growth work, when I'm making more time for personal development, which I think a lot of people put on the back burner, if I want to learn about social media marketing and I dive in and I'm doing like online trainings on that, I get so many ideas and get so pumped up. And now all of a sudden I have a real big to-do list. My must list and my productive work all of a sudden become more exciting because yes, I'm doing those day-to-day things, changing the diapers. I don't, but Sarah does, and she's in my corner, so I'm going like that, right? You know, changing diapers, doing that kind of stuff, feeding your kids, those must things, they have to be done. There are things in your business that have to be done, but they don't all have to be the mundane stuff. And as you have more time for those needle movers, you'll find more time for those bigger, fun projects that you're really excited about. Oh, yay, Amanda. I'm so glad. It helped me so much. I was like, yeah, something that I cut out in the beginning was TV. And I also cut out coffee because I was paying for coffee every morning at the coffee shop, and I wanted to have my Shakeology instead. And then once I got to a certain level and I was able to leave my full-time job and, you know, get my coffee habit back. Now I have coffee and Shako every morning. and then we watched TV every night. And I realized it wasn't filling my cup. It didn't make me feel better. I wasn't unwinding. But by reading instead of watching TV, I'm reading incredible books that are just expanding my mind and getting me so excited for the future. I think one of the biggest things is that I always know that this year, like my future is always going to be better than my past. And my past is pretty damn great, but it's always going to be better because I feel like everything happens for me. If there's a problem when I get to that needle mover thing and I need to come up with a solution, whatever that solution is, it's going to teach me a lot. I'm going to grow faster than those around me because most people see problem, they deer in headlights, they stop. I see problem, I'm like, this is an opportunity. This problem is my advantage if I use it. And I have the choice to use it or not. But if we're just doing the must and the productive work, we're not making time for that. We're not making time to be aware of like, hey, this problem is in front of me. And I know they're hard, guys. I've had real hard stuff. I mean, Gina knows you could throw anything in your business that you've gone through, and I've gone through it like tenfold. It's not that those things didn't happen to me and I was just some lucky person. It's just that I went through those problems and figured out solutions so I could turn around and help other people. And I didn't allow the problem to stop me. It wasn't a roadblock. It was a road bump. It was a bump in the process, right? And that's why I get so excited. Like with this training that I was watching, it was a Dean Graziosi training. And if you guys haven't read his Millionaire Success Habits, it's incredible. Love it. It's not about money. I mean, he talks a little bit about money, but it's mostly about the habits that create the life that you want and how to have those habits in your life. It's one of my favorites. And he does talk a lot about the mindset of successful people and how it's not that they don't have problems, but they're looking for the solution and the advantage in that problem. Oh, thanks, Sarah. I appreciate that so much, Sarah. And it's not always easy. I've had problems where I'm like, I keep a happy face and I am happy because I'm like, I know this damn problem is going to be the biggest, like my next level is going to be so big. And we're talking problems that are like 3 years long that I'm like trying to figure out, I'm doing my vitals. I'm going through I hit milestones in the business and then get stuck. There's so many things that happen, and I always believe, there's always that belief that the future is going to be better. But a lot of that comes from all the books that I'm reading and the things that I'm feeding my brain with and the people that I'm surrounding myself with. So kudos to you guys all for being here on New Year's and surrounding yourself with personal development and personal growth and business growth on the first day of the year. That's incredible. Is there anything from tonight that you have questions on, or maybe something you want to share, like something that you want to tweak in your productivity daily, weekly, monthly to do? Or maybe you need to write out a daily, weekly, and monthly to do. That's okay too.
Something that I did the other day, I don't know if you guys saw, I posted it in Ignite, but I took the business activity tracker to a little coffee shop down the street and had them laminate it. So I'm just using a dry erase marker to mark on it. And that's something, it's helped me because I wasn't always using the business activity tracker because I'm like, I don't want to print that out. It's wasting ink, but now I did that and it helps so much more.
I love that. You're always so creative with all that stuff. The needle mover. Sarah, I didn't see that. Yeah. Oh, go. Go, go.
Yeah, what I was gonna ask is I feel like once I start working, I can be pretty productive, like following up with people and stuff. But it's like once I sit down, it takes me a really long time to like really focus in on what I'm trying to do. Like I don't know, I like go into my inbox, I go into a group, I go into Ignite, like I have a hard time getting started. And then sometimes by the time I get started, it's like the kids are up from their nap and I got like nothing accomplished that's really productive. So like, do you have any suggestions on like how to just dive in and like get your brain? I mean, I guess what you just told us tonight, but like doing the needle mover stuff first and then going to doing the inviting, like what do you suggest? I just feel like my brain's all over the place for a while when I first get started.
Yeah. So first off, make sure I come back to that. I have a question. Oh no, Steph, it wasn't you. So I'll go back to Steph in a second. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, start with the needle movers. Start with 10 minutes. Set a timer on your phone. 10 minutes, count down. Your alarm will go off in 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. Dream. Just dream. Write down dreams. Write down what you're excited about, what you're proud of, how far you've come. Like spend time doing that. And then, but you have to know as soon as that timer goes off, what are you doing? What's that thing? I'm going to send 10 invites. And I think that's what's something that really, like, I always get so much done is I know what is coming next. I don't spend time in my inbox or I don't spend time scrolling social media and just jumping around group to group to group, like that kind of stuff, because I realized it steals from my greatness. And I hate when people waste my time. So why would I waste my own? Right. And that's time you could have with your husband, with your kids, and you're scrolling social and it means nothing. Right. And so, yeah, that's something, I don't know if that's helpful, but that's what I would do. I would, but make sure you know, like I always know the next day what those things are, like what my extra projects are I want to get done for the day, and what are the needs and the musts and the productive stuff that have to get done that day. Right. And so that list is so strong that I dive right into it. Team Z definitely helps me with that. Like I know what those follow-ups are. We've kind of talked about that. I feel like also, Sarah, if you're having too many follow-ups, because that's something you've shared before, is like you're like, there's too many. I've started just going like, how important was this? Like, did the person follow up? If I'm getting too many follow-ups because I've been doing all the inviting, I go with the ones that did show interest. And so I won't schedule those other ones as, if after I invite them, maybe I schedule a 30-day or a 60-day follow-up instead of a 4-day. Because if they do respond back to me, then it's going to turn into a 4-day follow-up after I give them more information, right? So then I don't have so many follow-ups. So I'll tweak things so that I don't feel overwhelmed, right? With follow-ups and things like that. And I think sometimes you think of all you have to do instead of, it's okay if I only do 20 today. The fact that you have a list waiting right there for you, maybe that's how you start, is say, okay, I'm going to go through 10 of these, and then I'm going to go check my group. Is that helpful? Okay.
Can I share something really quick?
Yeah.
Just because Sarah, so I'm a mom too. I have 3 kids, and this has been like my struggle because they used to nap and now like nobody naps. So there's like never a stretch of time where I'm not like ignoring somebody. And then like by the end of the night, I'm just so exhausted with trying to balance both. What I've tried to do, because my mind goes everywhere too. And like if I have like a work day, but I've already like gotten into thick of kids and then I sit down, I'm the same way. It takes me like 30 minutes to actually like be productive. I have found that, so when I wake up first thing in the morning, I try and do PD, inviting, and then answering any messages that are important, like right away, because I know like I'm fresh, my brain is settled, and then I won't look at any of the messages again till maybe the nighttime when I can actually focus on them. But if you get out like the big things first thing in the morning, like when you're fresh, before anyone else has bothered you, like your mind is kind of ready to go, that has been a big one for me. Because if I don't invite in the morning, I find I hardly will ever do it the rest of the day. And that's like the big one I've been slacking in. So I guess the big things you need to do, maybe try and do them as soon as you wake up and save like the workout or whatever else it is for later on if you can.
And I have to.
I was gonna say that it's funny you say that. 'Cause the last month I've been trying to do that, like get at least 10 to 25 invites in before the kids wake up, because the rest of the day is like unpredictable, and I would rather work out with them in the same room as me and interrupting my workouts than me having to like ignore them like while I'm trying to work and focus on what I'm trying to respond to somebody, and them slamming the computer shut on me and all that stuff. So
Really quick, I wanted to say I used to be like that. I would sit down and be like, oh my gosh, I have invites, I have follow-ups, I have all this stuff I have to do. But I have realized like dedicating Monday and Thursday to follow-ups has really helped, because I know, okay, it's Monday, so I do all my follow-ups. And then Thursday, I do all my follow-ups. And then the other days, I worry about like inviting and looking at just messages. So that has helped me, because I would be like, okay, let me look at this or let me look at that. And then the timer thing would get to me and I'd be like, ah. So that helped me.
I love that. And that's why I look at goals for the week too, is like, I always look at what are my action goals for the week? As far as inviting, following up, like adding new people, connecting with new people, like what are those goals? How many new people do I want to add as friends on Facebook or Instagram or whatever that is? What are those actions? And then break them up, like Brianna said, on Mondays and Thursdays. I do all my inviting at the beginning of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like bulk invites. And for some people, that's like too overwhelming, right? They want to just do like 10, 15, or 20 or whatever every single day. I want to do them all at once, because then all the messages coming back to me kind of die out by the weekend. And so then I'm just answering messages over the weekend. And then that allows me to do follow-ups like the rest of the week. So I love that you shared that. Such a good point. So Steph said that, let's see, she could definitely watch less TV at night, but it's time her husband and her spend together. And so I asked her, is it really time together? She said she feels like it is. He's exhausted after work, his physical job, so he loves relaxing together. The one thing I always think about, like with like relaxing and watching TV, and this is totally okay, Steph, if this isn't you, but it's something that I've watched in a lot of really high performers, is like, is it something, are you going to remember watching The Bachelorette or that TV show like a year from now? Like, is it really, I don't know. So something Paul and I do, instead of like, we used to watch TV, eat dinner and like watch TV, and we'll sit down at the table and like have a conversation and talk and, and connect. And not saying that's a bad thing, but, if you want to watch TV, you guys do what you want. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. But, I find that a lot of people say that, and TV is not giving you a higher quality of life. It's not. I mean, there's so many things you could do to relax. So that, to me, like, I would look at that, like, what are other ways that we could relax together? Yeah, I love that, Brina. She said TV time is our time, but also realize now communication is low. Yeah, and when you have deeper, more meaningful conversations with your spouse, you are so much more happy. There's just like having deeper connections and deeper relationships makes you happier overall, makes our brains happier overall. And that's something that just have to get him on board. I love it, Steph. Yeah, it's funny stuff with Paul. Like, I have to like plant the seed and then just kind of let it go, and then like plant it again, and then all of a sudden he comes up with the idea. I'm like, oh yeah, that's so great. It's husband marketing 101. Yeah. Okay, it's gonna cut out. I loved all the sharing this evening, you guys.